One thing I said from the very beginning, Eric Swalwell cannot get a security clearance in the public sector. Why would we ever give him a security clearance in the secrets to America? So I will not allow him to be on Intel. You have Adam Schiff, who had lied to the American public time and again. We will not allow him to be on the Intel committee either. And you look, Congresswoman Omar, her anti-Semitic comments that have gone forward. We're not going to allow her to be on foreign affairs.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says controversial Democrats will lose their committee assignments if he's elected to Speaker of the new House.
Joe Concha, author of Come On, Man, joins us now. Joe, what do you make of all this? Is this a sign that Republicans are going to put their money where their mouth is and carry through on the things that they promised the people they would do if they won?
Well, that's the thing, Todd, right? I mean, just because Republicans didn't win by 3 touchdowns, they won by a field goal or 2 as far as taking back the House. They still took back the House, and now elections have consequences. Kevin McCarthy absolutely is in the right in kicking Ilhan Omar off the Foreign Affairs Committee, for example. There is no place, Democrat, Republican, for anti-Semitism in this country. And look, she has equated the United States and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban. That has no place in this country, that kind of rhetoric. She said it's all about the Benjamins regarding America's allegiance to Israel, saying it's all about the money. That's profoundly insulting. As for Eric Swalwell, he's accused Republicans of looking to outlaw interracial marriage. He has 0.0 evidence or statements to back up that claim. This person has no right to be on any committee either. And as for, Adam Schiff, he repeatedly lied time and again about having overwhelming evidence about the Trump campaign and Russia collusion, and has leaked to the press more times than we can count. This is what happens. You lose power, and Kevin McCarthy now is going to remove these folks, and is completely justified in doing so if you look at their record and their statements objectively, Todd.
Well,
Ashley.
Let's also not forget, Swalwell had a relationship with literally a Chinese spy. Seems like that would disqualify him for that committee.
Well, yeah, because he had clearance.
Yes.
So there's that. But, Joe, let's get to this. President Biden became the first ever 80-year-old president over the weekend. It brings up the point of, is he going to run again? The Hill pointing out the obvious, saying the question is increasingly relevant. Critics say as Biden considers re-election, though the president's supporters say the age-based attacks are marked unfair. But you know what? I don't think this is just about Biden. If you look at Mitch McConnell, you look at Nancy Pelosi, a lot of these people who are in charge of our country, what do you think? Are they too old to running the country? I know if a body in motion stays in motion, but still.
Sure. Look, Nancy Pelosi, Ashley, is 82, right? And Mitch McConnell is in his 80s, and Chuck Schumer's in his 70s. And now Joe Biden, the president, just turned 80. Let's put it this way. We've seen Joe Biden at 79 and the way he conducts himself in terms of his schedule and the fact that he skips dinners like he did at the G20 recently and forgets names of certain people and looks for dead people when he's doing public events. And his statements, some people age well when they get to 80, like my dad, and some don't age so well, like the president. The difference is that my dad isn't the president of the United States. He does some consulting work from time to time, exercises, goes out more socially than I could ever dream of. The point is that if Joe Biden runs for a second term and he wins, you're going to be looking at the end of his second term, a 86-year-old Joe Biden in the Oval Office. And that's something that even Democrats are saying, yeah, no thanks. Let's turn the page here, not just on the Democratic side, but on the Republican side. Let's look for younger leaders to start leading this country, because these folks, not so much that they're old, it's that they've been in power for too long. And when you do that, you tend to live in a bubble. And that's what we're seeing here with so many of our leaders, from Pelosi to McConnell to Joe Biden. Ashley, Todd.
I was wondering where the big blowout was with the world leaders and all the celebs. I feel like Biden didn't have like what Obama got with like Oprah and John Legend and everybody showing up. Poor Joe. But happy birthday to Joe. Not this Joe, that Joe. This Joe, thank you. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.